And Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson disagreed with his top budget director last week and said he is not planning to raise property taxes for next year, but he is looking for progressive revenue options.
He has a nearly $1 billion budget deficit to fill. So what exactly are those progressive options? Our political reporter Mary Ann Ahern was at the mayor's press conference earlier today, and she's here now with the takeaways for us. Mary Ann.
Allison and Marion, good evening. Yes, the mayor made it clear he is considering a corporate head tax. He also floated perhaps increasing the tax on digital advertising. Let's start with, what is a head tax? The head tax is what a company based in the city would pay per employee, usually businesses with more than 50 people on the payroll. Companies in some cities pay from $5 to $6 per employee per month. Seattle has a tax only on high earners, those making more than $150,000 a year. Former Mayor Rahm Emanuel eliminated the head tax 9 years ago, calling it a job killer. Mayor Johnson disagrees.
It's on the table. Everything has to be on the table. Everything has to be on the table.
And what about those who say that it's a job killer?
Well, you know, look, the job killers right now are the situations that continue to not speak to addressing violence. Again, when corporate leaders come to me, you know the number one issue they talk about is safety. That's what they talk about. They don't talk about job killing.
At the same time, several businesses from Boeing to Citadel, they've left Chicago complaining about the rising costs. The Chicago Teachers Union, Mayor Johnson's strongest supporter, has been pushing for a corporate head tax for years.
So he's also talking about something with digital advertising, charging a tax for that.
Another progressive revenue idea, yes. There is this proposal that also CTU is supporting. The union projects it could solve the budget hole. That is, of course, if the city council agrees to a digital ad tax. The plan is to impose a 10% tax on digital advertising. This means a tax on Facebook, Instagram, and others. Critics suggest the tax would be passed on to the consumers. The state of Maryland, it is currently in a court over this, a lawsuit over a similar proposal. However, the digital tax, it is on the table.
I've long been a supporter of the placing revenue lines with our digital ads. Look, people have made billions of dollars from the digital industry, literally billions of dollars, and that free advertisement happens on a consistent basis. So this is something that I've been looking at and exploring since 2018.
The mayor has a budget working group that will provide recommendations for long-term financial planning. Their report is expected by the end of August. This case in Maryland over the digital advertising will decide whether or not other states jump on this idea.
And any hope of going to Springfield to try to get more money for the city of Chicago and the schools?
Right, especially the schools, that is. But they're not even planning to meet again until the November veto session.